Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video I will show you how to paint these fun winter bookmarks, and this idea you can actually use also for Christmas cards, so it doesn't have to be bookmarks necessarily. So first thing I'm gonna do is make my sketch, and I started with the left one. There are gonna be pine trees there, so I've just drew in a couple of vertical lines just to make myself an idea where I will place those trees. Second one will be bells, so I'm drawing 2 bells, and the third one will be holly. And for these bookmarks, I am using a paper that is 20 by 20 centimeters or something like 8 by 8 inches, which I have divided into 3 equal parts, and I'm left with bookmarks that are somewhere around 20 by 6 centimeters or 8 by 2.5, I guess, inches. I will also be using just a couple of colors, blue, black, and violet, I guess, for the main color, and then I will add just a little bit of yellow just to make some accents and to make that, well, painting those bookmarks just a little bit more interesting. And when finished with my sketch, I am pre-wetting the paper for the first bookmark, and after that just picking up that mix of blue, violet, and black and painting in the, I guess that is the ground beneath the pine trees, and then moving on to painting the pine trees, and I'm painting them quite light at the top, and at the bottom they will be a little bit more pigmented and a little bit more darker, because I do want it to leave it just lighter at the top and darker at the bottom. Also at the top I've added just a little bit of yellow for that accent I was talking about. And that is how I painted all 3 of my pine trees. I will go back a little bit later on to add on some of the darker pigment to the lower part, but for now that is just basically it. I have also sprinkled a little bit of that paint in a very light wash, just to add a little bit more interest to the background. Then I moved on to painting the second one and also pre-wetted the paper, and then used again mix of blue, violet, and black to paint in the bells. And I'm not trying, as you can see, I'm just going around the bells, making it bleed slightly into my background. I think that would make it a little bit more interesting. And then on one side I've added a little bit more of the pigment, some splatters at the end, and that is it for now with the bells. And there you go, I'm just going back. Now that the pine trees are slightly drying, I'm adding a little bit more of that darker pigment. Then moving on to my third card, and also pre-wetting it first, and then adding a little bit of that mix of colors around my holly, and just those little 3 balls I'm adding some yellow, and then at the end some sprinkles in again that same mixture of colors. And now I've picked up a white gouache and doing some sprinkles on my pine trees with the white gouache. When I finished with that, I got back to the second bookmark and just adding, now that it's slightly drying and not bleeding anymore into the background, because here I don't want it to bleed anymore. I do want the shape of my bell to be visible. So I've added a little bit of that darker pigment on one side, on the left side for the upper bell, and on the right side for the lower bell. I guess the light is going from downwards, not really, maybe not logical, but that is how I wanted to do it, how I wanted to paint it. So I've painted in the upper part of my bells a little bit darker, smudged that paint slightly into the entire bell, but I did leave the other side of the bell quite light. Then moving on to the third one, also I've painted it in the same way. Left side I've painted a little bit darker, and then smudging that paint into the entire holly, leaving that part again just a little bit more accented and darker. When finished with those three, just got back again to my first one, adding a little bit more interest to the ground, just adding those lines, maybe looking it like there are some reflection in the water, maybe there is a water there, and then just doing the details on all three of them, highlighting some shadows and also some highlights. Again, when finished with that, well, the paint is still actually wet. I'm adding just a little bit more yellow to my bells, to the part that I left lighter, and also added a little bit more yellow to those little balls on my holly and some black on the bottom of it. Then did some sprinkles with white gouache and also some sprinkles with black, which I've added into that mix just to make it slightly darker. And with that, I'll be finishing off these bookmarks, maybe cards. You can use it, as I said, as a card idea. Yes, I forgot. I actually was thinking there's something missing on my third bookmark, so I have added, I'm calling them ghost holly, because I've painted them just quite light and I did not add branch, I did not add any more details, just left them like that to be ghosts on the third one. And with that, I'll be finishing off this painting and of course this video. Thank you guys a lot for watching, for all your support. I really do appreciate that a lot. Well, if you like this video, please hit the like button, share it, comment, and if you haven't still, please do subscribe to my channel. That would really mean a lot. And maybe consider joining my channel. Press that join next to the subscribe, listen to the offer and the side. And I guess that is basically everything. Again, thank you so much for watching and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!